Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Jill again. If you are a nurse wishing to go to Australia, this video is for you. Please watch my first video. This is 2 out of 4 videos that I'll be releasing related to my migration here. So first video, we talked about acquiring a job and acquiring a visa. So once you got those two sorted out, next things that we're going to tackle is what to consider after you get your job and visa. So in no particular order, first in my list is when to file your resignation. So for me, I made a great mistake. I thought it's just going to be easy once I got my job offer, but then my visa application got delayed for some random reason, so I waited for 4 months, and yes, I was unemployed for approximately 4 months and something weeks, which is a bummer. But I enjoyed those 4 months. But yeah, if you're a family man, family woman, and you can't afford to be unemployed that long, just take note that it may take up to like 5-6 months. But I do know some people that got their visa in 1 or 2 months, so I don't really know how it works. Next, secure certificate of employment. So this certificate of employment is different from the COE that we secured on our first video. The COE that we had then was when you were still employed. So this one, upon resignation, just make sure you got that with you, just because you will need it in the future if ever you do like transfer to other hospitals. Next, assuming you've already resigned, set a departure date and book a flight. So I don't have anything to say to this, just add it on your list so you don't forget. Once you've secured the flight for yourself, next thing to consider is your accommodation. Now, I highly recommend that you only get a temporary accommodation for the meantime, just because you don't know the city yet. You have to see the neighborhood yourself and like if it's close to amenities and stuff. So maybe like for the first few weeks to like first few months, get a temporary accommodation. We have like flatting situations here, which means you get to rent a room in a house and you get to live with the owner of the house or like co-tenants who also rent one of the rooms in the house. So yeah, that's it. And the price range that you would have to consider here is like $250 to $300 per week. For some bills included, some not. Some bills included but no internet, so it varies. But you can look into flatmates.com.au, or if you personally know someone, that's great. But if not, there's always Airbnb available. Just look into the reviews. Next concern is bank. You have to give your bank a heads up. So for me, my bank in New Zealand was ANZ. And I needed to call them. Nothing really complicated actually. I needed to call them to just tell them like, oh, this is my date of departure, so they know that if ever I do use my card abroad, it's me who is using it. Next would be your insurance. So I know this must be like a case-to-case basis, but just make sure to give your advisor a call, just because some insurance don't cover you in a particular country or something. So yeah, just make sure to have that sorted out before you transfer. Next would be your certificate of particulars. Now this is applicable only for people who have driver's license in New Zealand. You will need this for your conversion in Australia later on. Just add that to the list if this applies to you. Next is get medical report and dental report. So this is just like medical history, dental history. So for easy access later on, once you become a resident and you get yourself a GP and you get yourself a dentist here in this country, you don't need to like frantically look for histories that you've had done in the country you were in. Last but not the least is finding yourself a freight company. So if you're like me, who have lots of stuff that you don't want to sell, you don't want to donate, and you just want to be shipped to this country, there's lots of freight company that you can just Google. But make sure to canvas first, because yes, of course, we want to make the most out of our money. For the second part of this video, we're going to talk about a question that I'm pretty sure everyone has in their minds right now, and that is, how much would I need to save up for? Or in other words, how much did I spend processing everything? So you ask, I deliver. I'll give you a detailed list of my expenses related to this processing, from the job application, visa application, to the actual migration itself. Please do note that we are going to talk in New Zealand dollars because that was the currency I was spending in at that time. First is your visa application plus the agency service fee, which is in total of 3,764.77 New Zealand dollars. Next is your NBI clearance. For me, I had to tap a third party to process my NBI clearance since I'm not in the Philippines. That is 124.2. Next would be AFP. This is like the police check in Australia. That is amounting to 48.24 New Zealand dollars. Next is your lab tests. This is like the blood test that you have to provide for your medical clearance, and that would amount to 182.70 New Zealand dollars. And then CT Med, this is your medical checkup and physical checkup plus chest x-ray, which is 350 New Zealand dollars. Second to the last is your ticket, which is 699 New Zealand dollars for me because I brought 2 check-in luggages and 2 carry-ons. Last but not the least is your temporary stay. For my case, I had a temporary stay for 2 weeks, which amounted to 609.75 New Zealand dollars. So in total, everything is 5,778.66. If you do have further questions, I don't know, please don't expect answers from me because, as I've said, I am not an immigration agent. This is just me sharing my experiences and being as detailed as possible so I can help you guys with your migration as well. So yeah, good luck to everyone, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye!